boxer, how do you feel like you get out of that bubble to make somebody a real boxer?
I mean, what he's doing is, I mean, kind of cool. If he can continue to steal money and they match him the way they match him, I can't knock his hustle. So if they can match him the way how they've been matching him.
Gervonta Davis and another sexual assault allegation, lawsuits incoming, potentially criminal charges levied. We don't know. We know that fight is up in the air, and I think that fight's not going to happen, and they're going to either have to move the fight back or look to a replacement or both. I don't know.
This fight is still technically scheduled for November 14th to air on Netflix, but it's basically hanging on by a thread. But the team, Jake Paul's team, have reportedly gone and contacted all the fighters, and the names that they're looking at contacting to fight as a late replacement.
Floyd Mayweather has once again sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Calling out Jake Paul after Gervonta "Tank" Davis' fight was cancelled over Tank's ongoing legal troubles. Mayweather didn't hold back. He made it clear he's ready to step in and face Jake. And this time, he says it's not for show. No exhibition. A real fight. He doubled down, saying he wouldn't move up a weight around, hinting that if this bout happens, it will be under true professional rules. The surprise call-out has lit up the boxing community, with fans buzzing to see if Floyd is truly gearing up for a real return to the ring.
But at the time, people badly wanted you and Jake Paul to fight. Is he someone you're interested in or no?
Well, you know, if you go back, you got to do your homework, look on the internet. I think he was doing a sit down on a podcast one time, and he talked about it. He said, I don't want to do an exhibition against Floyd Mayweather. He said, I'm only doing real fights. And of course, I can't get up high in weight, but I'll fight him in a real fight at the weight that I'm at. But Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it. And he's making good money, and
Because of the lawsuit and the ongoing investigation, Davis' much-hyped exhibition against Jake Paul has been officially called off. His promoter, Most Valuable Promotions, released a statement saying they're looking into the situation and have chosen not to move forward with the event under the current circumstances.
The situation, he was supposed to be boxing Gervonta "Tank" Davis, a man that weighs 133 pounds or 135. Regardless, it's a man that is way smaller than Jake Paul. So that is just ridiculous, and I've given my thoughts on that before anyway. But now it turns out that Gervonta Davis has some allegations about domestic abuse. I don't know too much about the situation, but apparently Netflix have pulled the plug on that fight. It says, here's a tweet I'm reading from Mike Coppinger. As reported, Jake Paul's return could shift to December, with the November 14th Netflix exhibition in jeopardy due to the latest allegations against Gervonta Davis. Sources tell Ring magazine that December 12th and the 19th
Davis now finds himself at the center of a civil lawsuit filed by his former girlfriend, Courtney Roselle, over an alleged incident that took place on October 27th at a Miami nightclub where she works. In her filing, Roselle accuses Davis of battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The complaint details a disturbing scene, claiming Davis dragged and assaulted her through several parts of the club, the stairwell, the kitchen, even the parking garage. Meanwhile, Miami Gardens police have confirmed that an active investigation is underway alongside the civil case.
Boxing champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis faces new abuse claims from a woman who claims to be his ex-girlfriend. This is according to our media partner, the Baltimore Banner. Courtney Russell says she dated Davis for 5 months and recently filed a civil lawsuit accusing him of aggravated battery, false imprisonment, and other offenses. She claims Davis physically attacked her a number of times during their relationship. Russell claims the most recent incident was Monday at a Miami nightclub. Davis is scheduled to fight Jake Paul in Miami.
Chael Sonnen recently spoke out about the chaos surrounding the rumored cancellation of the Jake Paul versus Gervonta "Tank" Davis fight, revealing that he personally reached out to both camps to find out what was really going on. Sonnen said he called people from Jake's team and Tank's side, hoping to confirm if the rumors were true, but neither camp gave him a clear answer. That silence, he explained, only fueled the growing suspicion that something serious was unfolding behind the scenes. Sonnen hinted that when both fighters stay quiet about a cancellation, it's rarely about scheduling, it usually points to deeper legal or promotional trouble.
Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I have an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched him weigh in. I want to say it was like...
With Tank's fight now hanging in doubt, Floyd has stepped forward, calling out Jake to face him instead. Mayweather hasn't minced words when it comes to Jake Paul's boxing skills. He gives Jake credit for his crossover success and admits he's entertaining, but he stops short of labeling him a real boxer. Floyd has brushed off the idea of facing Jake as almost too easy, suggesting that Paul wouldn't pose any real threat to someone of his pedigree. While acknowledging Jake's ability to build a lucrative brand, Mayweather insists that stepping into the ring with an elite fighter would quickly reveal the gap in Jake's training, technique, and true competition level.
There were many, many people who believe you're the most talented fighter ever, period. So whatever you say to this question, I think is important. Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability, or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents, or is he actually talented?
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter, a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
Does he have the ability, with what you've seen, to continue to mold himself into somebody who can actually? He told me before his goal is to fight Canelo, so that's, you know, where his mindset's at.
Additionally, Mayweather's refusal to give rematches has often left fans wondering about the unanswered what ifs. In contrast, Jake has built much of his record by facing opponents far older, past their prime, or simply smaller than him. Even Mayweather has cautioned against overestimating Jake Paul, recognizing his entertainment value but questioning the level of his opposition. Floyd warned that the moment Jake steps into the ring with a true fighter, the result could be brutally revealing, a reality check that shows the difference between showmanship and real boxing skill.
Second question is just with like Logan Paul and then Jake Paul now fighting Mike soon in the summer. What do you think defines a real boxer? Because I feel like people are still confused on if Jake Paul is a YouTuber boxer or a real boxer. How do you feel like you get out of that bubble to make somebody a real boxer?
What he's doing is, I mean, kind of cool. If he can continue to steal money and they match him the way they match him, I can't knock his hustle. So if they can match him the way how they've been matching him.
Meanwhile, many fighters and analysts praise Floyd Mayweather for more than just his lightning speed or flawless defense. They celebrate his mindset. They argue that what truly made him dangerous wasn't just skill, but an unbreakable self-belief, the certainty that no one could beat him. Former pro Tony Jeff, for instance, has highlighted how Mayweather's confidence and mental edge gave him control of a fight long before the first punch was even thrown.
They're really confident, they really believe in themselves, but you need more than that mindset. You need to have the full package of everything that I'm talking about, what Floyd has got.
Fighters should only want to get better. The more you win, the more you should work hard. If you think about losing, you're going to lose. All I ever thought about was winning. So that's all I know.
Floyd would visualize his success before he even stepped into the ring. there was no alternative to him but winning. And this mindset isn't just for boxing, it's for all walks of life. And I've actually done a full video talking about how I used this mindset of visualization to win my Olympic medal. And it was an absolute game changer. Now, Floyd used to use this mindset to ease the pressure that he put himself under. And he made himself think like, I'm not under any pressure right now, where he was under immense pressure.
Pressure either makes you or break you. Well, you see where I'm at, so it's obvious that I'm the type of athlete or I'm the type of entertainer that can deal with pressure. There's never no pressure.
Now, if you watch his fight in 2013 when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Canelo came in a young, strong, undefeated fighter, but by round 2, Floyd kind of had him figured out. He was reading Canelo's jab. He would slip outside and then come back with a clean counter punch, then move his feet and get out of the way. He basically had the full fight under control, and he was controlling the full rhythm of the fight. He was forcing Canelo to fight at his pace. And this is what he would do in all of his fights. He would get his opponent to do what he wanted them to do without their opponent even realizing it, which is what we call boxing IQ. Now, even though I'm not a fan of Floyd Mayweather personally, because of the time when I did meet him, what he said to me made me just feel like this guy is a piece of shit. And
reports now suggest that Mayweather is eyeing a fight with Mike Tyson, and analysts say this isn't just another payday stunt. They see it as Floyd's way of reminding the world that he still commands the spotlight, even in retirement. With everyone focused on the Davis versus Paul drama, Mayweather seems unwilling to let anyone, not even his own protege, steal the attention. Observers call it classic Floyd, a man fueled by attention, rivalry, and legacy. As Gervonta and Jake prepare for their own spectacle, Floyd's rumored fight points to something deeper, the endless battle among boxing legends to stay relevant in a sport that never stops evolving.
Many celebrities and so many people that are known where you can get somebody and they can sell tickets to events. That's what kicked off the social media influence boxing that Jake Paul was birthed from. Now we're in a vacuum. And so there's going to be a lot of conversation about that and continuing to do that. In this particular video, though, I want to get into the mind of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and why Floyd Mayweather Jr. would do this. There is the money, but there's also the competitive nature of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and him not wanting to have other people think that they're a bigger star than he is. Floyd Mayweather Jr. has not been able to really launch his star outside of the sport of boxing, so he continues to do exhibitions. Now, what I think is that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is announced it at this point in time with Mike Tyson in order to take advantage of the publicity heading into the Gervonta Davis, Jake Paul fight, which is, I do believe, set for November. So now that they have all the publicity and all that stuff coming out from that, he's going to piggyback on it and then try to have it in the beginning of next year sometime and actually make it a bigger event than Gervonta versus Jake Paul. And it probably will be. And the reason that I say that is because of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is bigger than Floyd. Let me say Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson's bigger than Floyd Mayweather. I still think his name is bigger than Floyd Mayweather, even though I know Floyd has made more money in the pay-per-views. And I think that had a lot to do with, again, social media area and otherwise. But the combination of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson and the question about
According to several reports, Jake Paul's promotional team is already reaching out to big-name fighters as possible replacements for Davis, whose upcoming fight now hangs in serious doubt due to legal troubles. Among the names circulating, one stands out, Terence Crawford. Rumors suggest Paul's team has contacted the pound-for-pound great as a potential substitute amid the chaos surrounding the Davis bout. While plenty of chatter has surfaced in recent days, nothing official has been confirmed. What makes this intriguing is Crawford's elite stature in boxing. His presence alone would instantly elevate the stakes and legitimacy of the fight. Still, Crawford hasn't agreed to anything on paper, and talks remain in the very early stages. Even so, the buzz is strong, with fans already speculating whether Jake's team is shifting toward a far more credible, high-level opponent.
Technically scheduled for November 14th to air on Netflix, but it's basically hanging on by a thread. But the team, Jake Paul's team, have reportedly gone and contacted all the fighters, and the names that they're looking at contacting to fight as a late replacement: Ryan Garcia, Terence Crawford, Francis Ngannou, I mean, come on, we'll get into them, and Nate Diaz. So he's already fought Nate Diaz, but let's go through them one by one. I mean, Ryan Garcia, he's a similar size to Gervonta Davis. He's bigger though. Davis made him come down, didn't he? Then he beat him up. So that was Ryan Garcia. Quite a bad loss for Garcia, that was, because he was up for the fight, but Gervonta Davis beat Garcia. Garcia also isn't really big enough to be jumping in with Jake Paul, but that's a fight that potentially could happen. Garcia is a massive name. He's a big he's a social media star. He's a big public figure. Loads of followers on Instagram and social. I mean, his Instagram's over 1 million, I'm sure it is. He's just a big name, good-looking kid, great fighter, fast stands, and he's quite controversial as well. So that'd be a good fight, but the weight disparity, again, it's too big. So for me, when I say it'd be a good fight, it'd be interesting to see how Ryan Garcia would go in against Jake Paul, but to be honest, Jake Paul's far too big for him. Who else we got? Terence Crawford. I can't see Terence Crawford entertained in this, but then you never know, do you? If the old bunts make sense, then it makes people do strange things. And Terence Crawford's getting on now. What is he, 37, 38 years old? Had that great win against Canelo. Would he jump in with Jake Paul for mega money? Probably. He'd paced him as well. I mean, Terence Crawford would be too much for Jake Paul, even though he's up at 168 in his last fight, super middleweight, my old weight division. So I don't think Jake Paul would fight him. Francis Ngannou, I mean, why even chuck Ngannou in the mix? Ngannou would just hammer him. He's too big. I mean, he talked about Anthony Joshua. That never happened, did it? It's a load of bollocks. He talked about fighting AJ, then announced he's fighting someone the size of one of AJ's legs in Gervonta Davis. So for me, that's nothing. And the Nate Diaz fight, he's already fought him. It was a rubbish fight.
Many critics had already spoken out against the planned fight between Jake and Tank. Veteran fighter Carl Froch was especially blunt, tearing into the matchup and calling it, in his words, a rubbish fight. Froch argued that it held no real competitive value, pointing out Jake Paul's limited boxing resume compared to Davis's world-class skill and experience. He dismissed Paul as more of a showman than a serious contender, insisting the bout wouldn't stand up to the standards of true boxing purists. For Froch, the issue isn't who might win. It's whether a fight like this even deserves to be viewed as a legitimate contest between elite professionals.
Absolute clown world. Really fitting for fake Paul, the clown, because it's a clown show. You're putting him in with somebody who's 100 pounds lighter. I mentioned the weight disparity before. Getting on for 7 stone. It's a weight-governed sport. It should not be happening. He's too small, Gervonta Davis, against the big Jake Paul, who's in the gym a lot, training. Apparently he's fit and strong and he has a go and he can fight a little bit, which I disagree with because I don't think he can. He might be able to fight a little bit. He certainly can't box. But these allegations against Gervonta Davis, they're very serious allegations. Anybody that's laying hands on women needs to be shut down straight away. They need to be, for me, they need to be locked up in the key frame.
Amir Khan didn't hold back, calling the matchup a terrible mismatch. He slammed the promoters for approving what he described as torture, saying it's simply unfair to put Davis in that kind of danger. With Jake Paul weighing well over 200 pounds and Davis never having fought above roughly 140, Khan called the fight not just risky, but downright exploitative. He questioned whether Davis truly wants this bout for competition, or if he's just looking to cash out and walk away from the sport altogether.
Gets on my nerves a little bit. I think the way he conducts himself, the way he acts, and I think he's just full of himself as well, and he thinks he can fight, and he's only been boxing for what, like a year. But he's been very lucky though. He has he's had some good wins against like MMA fighters. He's a little bit heavier than me, but I don't mind putting the pounds on just to be.
Some critics are now questioning whether the fight really needed to be cancelled at all, arguing that Tank is still physically fit and fully capable of competing despite his legal troubles. They note that plenty of athletes in the past have fought while facing active charges, suggesting this decision might have more to do with image control and corporate optics than genuine concern for the fighters. Many fans insist that if Tank was still willing to step into the ring, the promoters should have let the show go on, especially with so much hype and money already behind it. Others, however, point out that given the gravity of the allegations, pushing ahead could have sparked a huge backlash for everyone involved.
So, did Gervonta Davis's cancellation of his fight with Jake Paul, was it the right decision from Jake Paul, his team, and Netflix? Did they make the right move to cancel the Gervonta Davis fight? I want to know y'all thoughts in the comment section. We'll probably do a longer video on this later, but I want y'all to interact and let me know y'all thoughts. Now that we know the fight is canceled, they announced it late yesterday while we were in the middle of our live stream. What is your thoughts? Do you think the fight should have been canceled? Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you.
So what do you make of all this? Should Floyd Mayweather really step in and take on Jake Paul right now? Or would it be wiser for promoters to hold off until Tank sorts out his legal troubles? Let us know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments below.